Isolation day 69, Tuesday the 26th of May. I hope you're all well and you're looking after yourselves. I thought today what I'd like to do is just go through a few of the feelings directly in relation to food. So let's start with the food I'm missing. I think top of the list is probably omelettes. And the reason for that is I love omelettes, firstly, but secondly, also, I used to make omelettes at least once, maybe twice a week with my son Elliot, who's 9, and he was excellent. He used to make them for me. I used to sit in the kitchen and we'd do that together. That's something that I'm missing actually. So once I become more used to cooking, and my wife's doing a lot of the plant-based cooking at the moment and we're trying to do it together, but my son doesn't really get involved a lot. I'd like to introduce this a lot more to the rest of the family, which I will do when the confidence sort of gets there. At the moment I just feel like a bit of a beginner with this. The second thing that I'm missing is probably pork scratchings, which I know is a horrendous food. It's a bar snack, but for those of you, I'm sure everyone watching this probably knows what a pork scratching is. If you don't, take a look. I'll put a picture in the corner. There you go. It's just fat. It's just a lot of fat, but actually for someone who was looking at low carb, there's no carbs in it, so it was a perfect snack to eat. Third thing, cheese. I think a man my age, you get to the stage where cheese becomes a bit of a comfort food. And although I didn't have it with crackers very often, I just had cheese as a slice with just on its own really. But I enjoyed it. The last thing is probably less so, but it's just normal milk in a cup of instant coffee at home. And now that I'm in isolation, I'm missing that because the almond milk that I'm consuming at the moment and in very small quantities just doesn't really go with coffee very well, so I'm having it with a cup of tea once or twice a day at most, and that's it really. So the shift, how's that affected me? Well, when you're eating a lot of meat, what I would have, my standard day at work would be a breakfast. If I had that at all, I'd have a very light breakfast. Then for lunch I would have a relatively light lunch. I would have salad and a meat, sometimes just salad, and that would be pretty much it. And then for evening meal, that would be the heavy meal of the day. And so that would be my sort of catch up from head down working, and that would be my big meal for the day, where it would be my warm meal. That's what I would concentrate on. Now with plant-based, it's kind of flipped. So I need to have breakfast every day, and I'm doing that consistently. Being at home really helps with that. I don't know how that would change with work. I would obviously have to pre-pack it and make sure I do it. But for lunch, that's kind of your main meal. So you concentrate on eating your significant amount of foods at lunch, and your evening meal is supposed to be a bit of a lighter meal because you don't need quite so many carbs, you don't need quite so nutrient dense foods that late at night. Look, it is a bit of a change for me, and am I struggling with it? No, I don't think hugely. The only concern really is what happens when I do go back to working in an office, and will I be requiring more food at the end of the day? Not sure. I think the jury's out on that at the moment. What I would say is the calories are an interesting thing, because meat, obviously full of calories, full of protein, and I never had a problem hitting my calorie requirements on a daily basis. Not that I tracked it that closely. But under the low-fat plant-based whole food, I am struggling to get to my calories, and I think that's mainly because although the foods aren't calorie dense, they are nutrient dense. So I'm actually full. I find that when I eat things like quinoa and I eat potatoes especially, I'm full. So I don't have a problem with the fact that I feel full. The reality is, am I getting all of the calories that I need? And I'm finding that a bit problematic at the moment. So that's really the overview of my feelings about the food intake at the moment. I'm enjoying a lot of it. I really like the food. I think it really helps being at home at the moment, and being able to concentrate on making sure I have breakfast, lunch and dinner, and not feeling like I'm going 200 miles an hour, which we all do in our working lives. I hope that was a good overview for you. My troubles with food and where the keto to plant-based kind of transition is causing me a few issues. So I hope that was okay. Have a good night. Okay, look after yourselves. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.